Toxic masculinity.
Pepe Le Pew gets
Yeah.
canceled
This is another
from
good-
the Space Jam sequel.
Space Jam.
Jam
Yeah,
sequel.
so the problem is that today we've just got so many good stories, guys. Just so many good stories.
Which I have to thank your...
Yeah, my story collator, whose name I know, Ashley.
It's okay, Ashley. He does remember my name sometimes.
It's true.
That's why he calls me darling all the time.
It's true. And Victoria, right? No, I have one of my best friends, my buddy Kurt. I forget his name all the time. I got a buddy Jeff who was one of my best friends in LA for a long time, which I haven't seen him in like a year. I should reconnect with Jeff. Anyway, I could never remember his name. I have another buddy, Adrian, that lives here in LA. Can't ever remember his name. I can remember them all today for some reason. I don't know why, but usually I forget them. All right, so let's just have a look at this. This is ridiculous. Okay, Pepe Le Pew scene cut from Warner Brothers Space Jam sequel. And I've seen this on, I've seen this on Twitter a little bit going around, people laughing about this. The iconic Looney Tunes character Pepe Le Pew has been axed from the upcoming Warner Brothers theatrical sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy, starring LeBron James. I guess it's a legacy of wokeness. Let's see here. A scene in which the cartoon character Pepe Le Pew hits on a woman. Whoops, that's very different. Hits on a woman, gets a drink thrown on him, and has a restraining order filed against him, has been cut from the Space Jam sequel, according to a report by Deadline. Deadline details the purported scene as follows. Pepe was set to appear in a black and white Casablanca-like Rick's Cafe sequence. Pepe, being a bartender, starts hitting on a woman at the bar, played by... I don't know how to pronounce that name. Grishi Santo. He begins kissing her arm, which she pulls back, and then slamming Pepe into a chair next to hers, she pours her drink on Pepe and slaps him hard, sending him spinning on a stool, which is then stopped by LeBron James's hand. James and Bugs Bunny are looking for Lola, and Pepe knows her whereabouts. Pepe then tells the guys that Penelope Cat has filed a restraining order against him. I love that. James makes a remark in the script that Pepe can't grab other tunes without their consent. Oh, so it was a little learning moment. It was a little sexual harassment learning moment. This scene was supposed to be, and they've cut that out because even that is too. You can't even learn about sexual harassment anymore. But so Valerie doesn't know much about Pepe Le Pew. I had to tell her about this character last night. But what a lot of these people don't realize, I think, is that the joke about Pepe Le Pew was not just that he was a womanizer. Okay, that is his character. Okay, it's kind of a funny thing. It's a character that exists in real life. There are men like that. Just ask the people of New York. But Pepe Le Pew was funny, not because he was trying to go after this girl skunk, but because he was trying to go after a girl cat who had accidentally walked under a paint bucket or something and had a white stripe painted down her back. And he thought that the cat was another skunk. He thought it was a female skunk, right? So this male skunk is going after what he thinks is a female skunk, but it's a female cat. And the female cat, obviously Pepe Le Pew, he's a skunk. He smells bad. So the cat is naturally get the hell away from me. You smell terrible, right? And Pepe Le Pew is like, oh, why? Why do you want to get away from me? You are so beautiful, and you must love me. Sorry, that accent was terrible. I can do a French accent, by the way, but that was not it. I don't know what the hell that was. It was like Dracula or something. But anyway, so Pepe Le Pew is always trying to get with this cat who he thinks is a skunk. That's why it's funny. Okay, it's because he's basically being catfished, right? It's like the first ever instance of catfishing is with a real cat. So that's why it's funny, but people aren't getting to that point because they're so focused on this idiotic, sexual harassment stuff or whatever. It's sad, I think. It's just sad. We can't even have comedy anymore. We can't have jokes even in cartoons. It's all too much. It's too evil. I don't know. It's crazy, but it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen, because they've also decided to redesign the character of Lola Bunny. Now, let me just say this. I have never seen the original Space Jam, so this was not part of my childhood, so this doesn't really ruin anything for me. But I could imagine being a kid and seeing this bunny on the left and thinking, ho, 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 Bugs Bunny, I would go for her too. Good job, Bugs. Like, you are going after an attractive female bunny. That makes total sense to me, because I imagine that in the first movie that she's introduced, and then Bugs Bunny is like, "Holy smokes, this is gorgeous female bunny. I want to get with her. This is going to be my girlfriend or my wife or whatever it is he's thinking." And she's cute. She's got her midriff showing. She's got the figure of a woman. And then you look over here on the right, and it's like,
gender neutral.
yeah, it's like gender neutral Lola. It's like she had a breast reduction. She stopped working out. This girl Liz Katz wrote, "The pandemic hit Lola Bunny hard," which I thought was just hilarious. That's pure genius as far as I'm concerned, in terms of comedy. But it's sad, right? You can't even have a kind of sexy cartoon character bunny for Bugs Bunny to want to be with. He's got to be with this kind of gender neutral sort of like giving a kind of smug, I don't care look. Like, that's not there's nothing nice about that. Nobody wants to look at that. This, lots of little boys would want to look at, because little boys like that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, but it's true. Now, if we look at Slate's written this big article here about how conservatives want you to be outraged by this. I don't care if you're outraged or not. I just don't think it's a smart thing for these people to do. But anyway, the guy who redesigned Lola writes, "The new Lola will usher in gender equality," he writes. "And her redesign will tone down her hypersexualized body." I mean, I don't think it was hypersexualized. It was certainly sexualized to some degree. Hypersexualized?
Look at the boob size. It's hypersexual.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, look at mine.
Well, you're wearing a pretty heavy sweater. I think
that's why I'm wearing sweaters, guys.
Yeah. Okay, because she's trying to be gender neutral. Okay, Jessica Rabbit. That's more, I would say, hypersexualized, right? Lola Bunny is just ordinary sexualized. Hypersexualized, yeah. I'm not seeing nipples. I'm not seeing massive breasts. I'm not saying
I see massive breasts.
Oh, do you? You think that's massive? I'd say it's about like you. I'd say she's got about your physique, actually. If you look at other images of her, they're not quite as well. This one you can't really tell there, but yeah, it's not. Yeah, she just looks like a woman. She looks like a woman, and here, her redesign will tone down her hypersexualized body, mostly created by fan artists. Okay, the fan art might be hypersexualized. I don't know. I've definitely chanced upon some kind of weird cartoon stuff searching the internet. I think it's hard not to run into some of that stuff, but that's possibly true. But you don't have to tone down the hypersexualized body created by fan artists. I mean, nobody's asking them to go find the most raunchiest, hypersexualized, hardcore fan art of these cartoon characters and put those in the cartoon. Nobody's asking you to do that. People just want the things to stay relatively the same and not be, neutered, essentially. They're just desexualizing everything to the point where it's not. But the thing is, these people don't care about whether something's hypersexualized or not. What they care about is whether it's gendered. That's what they really care about. So I guess the guy's name is Ramirez. He writes, "Lola's new design should match her candor and demeanor. Change is usually good," he writes. Change is usually good. Okay, no, that's not true. Change is usually bad, actually. But change is sometimes good. I'll give him that. Change is sometimes good. This is not one of those times. I think that having a sexy bunny for Bugs Bunny to like in the cartoon, nothing wrong with that. Changing it, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that, actually, but I do think there's something wrong with it because of the reason they're doing it. They're de-gendering everything, It's anyway. It's funny, actually, in the original cartoon, Bugs Bunny was a cross-dresser. He did often dress up like a girl bunny. Yeah. And also in the Pepe Le Pew cartoon, I want to say, there was an episode that somebody made me aware of. I hadn't seen it, but somebody in my Twitter feed told me, where Pepe Le Pew like had taken a shower or something, and he was now he no longer smelled, and the cat lost her stripe, and so Pepe Le Pew was no longer attracted to her, I guess, because he realized she was a cat and she wasn't a skunk. And so the whole episode was the cat thought that Pepe Le Pew was a male cat, and the girl cat was trying to get with Pepe Le Pew the whole time. It was all reversed, which I think is great.
I lost.
Okay.
Okay, let's just.
The audience knows what I'm talking about. The audience knows what I'm saying. You guys know. You guys get it. All right. Let's move on to the next story.
After defunding the police, New York City First Lady pleads for citizens to intervene in violent crimes as assault spike.
Uh-oh. I've lost this one. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.